Welcome to Cash Call. Listen live as expert sales trainers give actionable feedback on real calls while you learn coaching tips directly from the professionals. Cash Call, everybody. Dale Archdekin, Brian Curtis back for another week. I'm using my fancy microphone because I went back and listened to, I think it was last episode when I said we were going to make a drinking game out of you mispronouncing realtor. And
at least we'll keep talking about that. Okay, keep going.
That's my way of working it into the convo. So I listened to the audio and my audio was terrible. Like your audio is great. My audio was terrible. So hopefully my audio is better today. Does it sound any different to you?
Sounds good. I don't know. I don't have a point of reference for it sounding bad because I wasn't paying attention to that, but it sounds great today.
Okay. So. I got a cool call today. We get to hear a really good intro. Decent. Here's what I'd say. Decent call overall. But I think that you and I, because we are the pontificators and we get to Monday morning quarterback this thing, we get to hear it and we get to give some advice. So we will get
Love it. Let's do it.
Okay, cool. Let me make sure this is in the right spot. So when it starts playing, give me a thumbs up.
Hello. Oh, hey, Tim. It's Chris from. We had signed up on the website a couple months ago, and I just wanted to follow up to see if you were browsing or if you're still looking to buy or sell.
Now, almost perfect, except he didn't match the first word, right? The sales guy didn't match the first word, but he used our script. And spoiler alert, this guy's in training with us. So he nailed the intro script. It's an old lead, right? You signed up on my website months ago, wanted to see if you're still in the market to purchase or if you've gotten something. I don't know, whatever he said, right?
It was good.
Yeah, did a good intro. Did you want to add anything there?
I still like to add the window shopping thing. I like that script a little bit better, but this script is fine. I love that. Hey, we saw you were looking at our website. You guys planning on making a move soon, or are you just window shopping? I prefer that one, but
yeah, this is the old lead script where you said you signed up months ago, right? So like you registered months ago, whatever it may be. I guess he must have never spoken to the guy.
Got it. And honestly, I can still use it then too. So it works. And here's the thing. I love when you use the absolute perfect script every time. Like I agree, this is a better script for the old one. That being said, the other script will work if you're not trying to figure out, those kind of things. But yeah, great intro. It's nice to see somebody did a good intro, to be honest, because oftentimes not so much. So great intro. Glad to see it.
I know you and I are really good at finding what's wrong. So it's nice to point stuff out when it's right. So let's hit play. And this is a pretty typical call.
No, I'm not looking for anything right now.
You're not? Okay. Are you going to be looking after the first of the year, or what's your situation now?
I'll have to see how things go. I'm just kind of waiting in a holding pattern right now.
Okay. And is that because of the interest rates or a job or?
Pause.
Yeah.
Don't give people an objection. That's what you just did right there. Is that because of the interest rates or because of your job? Yep. No, it's the interest rates. Great. Thanks. That's why I can't do that. Ask the question. Don't induce, if you will, an objection. And I'm not sure if it is. I didn't listen to the rest of the call, but we do that for people. We ask them a question and then give them the answer. Just ask the question.
Yeah. So here's in doing a lot of training, I have come up with a theory as to why salespeople offer an answer or a couple of options. And I think it's because they feel uncomfortable, one, with the premise of they don't know, like they don't understand something, and they want to be right, or they want to demonstrate their experience or knowledge. That's my theory on why salespeople do that.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. So a lot of times we do teach them, don't offer them options unless you are, for instance, closing or you're setting up a close and you want somebody to pick one of your two options because it's part of the narrative.
Yeah, neither of those. Yeah, when because the interest, what did you say? Interest rates, what was the other option you gave them?
Let's listen to it. Let's see.
Okay. And is that because of the interest rates or a job or?
Interest rates or job. Yeah, he's just kind of grasping at straws on this.
Right. So just, hey, you say this all the time. Out of curiosity, what's the benefit of you guys waiting until after the first of the year or whatever? I think he said after the first of the year.
Yeah, exactly. So let me show the audience here where you can do that. And you can even use the guy's words. Here's what I would do.
I see how things go. I'm just kind of wait in a holding pattern right now.
Got it. What has you in a holding pattern, or what are you holding for, right? What are you holding to see? What puts you into a holding pattern, right? Or whatever it may be. I want to use your words, and that's a little more broad than trying to pick a couple of answers that might be the right thing or might not be the right thing. And
Yeah.
and I want to say this. I want to say this to everybody listening. In the first listen through, I didn't even pick up my own piece of advice there. I was like, I'm not really sure what I do here. But now, as I'm thinking back to what we train, and we do this thing called the question game, where we teach salespeople to ask direct questions to the heart of whatever an objection is. This falls right in line with the question game. Use their words, ask the question back to them. It's sort of like, oh, it's like tennis, right? He knocked the ball over the fence to me and said, I'm in a holding pattern. Holding pattern for what, right? Get that shit back over there. You tell me what you're talking about, because I have no idea, and that's okay, right?
And I love that you're training people to use the other person's word, because it does a couple of things. Obviously, those words resonate for them because they just use them. And it also shows that you actually listened, because I can't repeat back to you what you said if I didn't listen to you. So it requires active listening to do that. And so what is active listening? Most people think listening is listening so that you can give an answer. No, you want to listen so that you can try to so you can try to understand the other person's perspective, their ideas, what they're trying to do. That's the purpose of listening, not to respond.
Yeah. So the agent gives two options, and let's hear how this goes.
Sure.
Okay. And is that because of the interest rates or a job or?
Yeah, the interest rates, and just, the prices are high, but there's not much inventory out there. But the interest rates mainly so.
Yeah. So he got lucky, but it's also inventory prices.
But did he get lucky, or did the guy just say, "Yeah, that's it"?
I feel like this lead genuinely agreed with the interest rates being high. I don't know if it's the first thing that lead would have chosen if he would have given if I would have asked the question I suggested, or that you suggested, a broad question. I don't know if rate is the first thing he would have answered.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. I mean, I think the conventional wisdom is when the interest rates come down, the prices are going to kind of go back up. So
there's a little bit of salesman pressure, right? He's trying to say you might be better off doing it now because prices will get higher later. It's implied, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he just keeps going.
So,
yeah, I mean, it's yeah.
What neighborhoods are you looking in? Yep. What neighborhoods are you looking in?
Primarily Dedham.
Dedham. Okay. And are you looking for a single or a condo?
Now, I want the audience to listen to the string of discovery questions that this agent is using. They totally make sense. It's the kind of questions that you would need to ask. However, this prospect has already told us he's not buying anything now. And I want the crowd to listen to this, because in my mind, I think of it like, one, we don't have a lot of rapport with this guy. Asking him sales questions, especially when he says he's not buying now, is not only not creating rapport, but in fact could be artificially making his amount of time he's going to spend with us decrease more quickly, like run out faster.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree with that.
Yeah.
A single or a multi, if the numbers work on the multi.
Okay. And what's your price range?
Between 700 and 800
for a single.
For a multi, but a single maybe. Well, like I say, it all depends. I'm not right now. I'm not really in the market, so to speak. So.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe we'll just kind of send you over some listings and just kind of be in touch as things move on.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Very good.
Nice talking to you. Yep.
Yeah. So listen, I hate to use this very sexist analogy, but this is like, this salesperson just walked into the bar, saw a hot chick, tried to pick her up. She said no. And he said, okay, great, call me, and left, right? It just didn't work. There was no rapport built. There was no connection built. And what I would suggest is all the way back to where after he first said, hey, no, I'm not looking at doing anything right now. I think this agent did a good job by trying to keep the conversation open, right? What has you on the sidelines, or what has you waiting, or what has you, in a holding pattern would be a really good question there. What I would say is that when he started asking those really formal sales questions, what are you looking for? What neighborhoods? How much, etc. I think that somewhere in there, I would suggest that he mixes in something personal about him, some kind of rapport information, right? Like, hey, I've been in this area for X number of years, and I love it. My kids go to whatever school. Do you live in the area, or are you relocating here? So, as a way
Perfect.
of breaking this up and doing some kind of personal rapport building exercise in there that's completely detached from sales to help with the rapport.
Here's a great question you can always ask that's super simple, and it's a current state question. Hey, by the way, currently, do you currently rent or do you currently own?
Yeah.
That question can open so many doors. Oh, I own a house. Oh, perfect. So, what do you guys love about your current situation? Perfect. So this is my go-to on that. If, by the way, if they own, I ask them what they love about their current home. If they rent, I ask them what they didn't like, what they don't like about their current situation.
Yeah.
So, and again, sometimes people will just open up and start talking, give you something to work with. The problem with doing discovery of, and it's kind of the LP Mama script, right? I don't remember exactly what that stands for, but bedrooms, bathrooms, square feet, price range, location. We need that data, but I promise you, you don't need that data if the person doesn't like you.
Right.
You
And
don't need it.
yeah, no, and they're not interested in giving it to you unless they're going to be purchasing something. One of the massive things that was missing from this conversation, and I would say this if I was training anybody listening to this, we don't know why this guy's buying, right?
Right.
Know why. It's not there at all. We have no idea. And when we're training our students, we tell them that the absolute most important thing for you to get is the why, even more important than the what, right? The house itself.
Yeah. The what's easy.
The what is easy. I'll sell you anything you want to purchase that makes sense, right? But really, it's the why. And the why is the thing that has rapport, that creates rapport if they tell you about it. They don't build rapport with you telling you what kind of house or duplex or multi they would purchase. They're not emotionally connected to that. They're emotionally
Right.
connected to the why of them buying or selling. So get them to tell you that. That was missing.
Right. And that's why that current tense question works really well. So hey Dale, do you currently rent or do you currently own? I rent. Oh, hey, out of curiosity, what don't you like about your current situation? Oh, it's so irritating because of this, and this. Perfect. And then you can flip it too. Hey, what do you? Oh, I love this about this. Okay. Now all of a sudden we're talking about stuff that matters to these people, and you can hear some why in there. Like, oh, my wife just had a kid, and so we're in a 2-bedroom apartment and we're
Yeah.
living on top of each
We're
other.
definitely getting a YouTube comment about this one. My wife just had a kid.
Why is that bad?
We had a kid. We had a kid.
Oh,
Brian.
whatever.
Oh, we're definitely gonna hear. I can see that right now. Going to be a YouTube comment, buddy. Go ahead.
Oh, great. So for the record, the woman has the child.
Oh God.
That
Okay.
is anatomically proved.
All right.
Okay.
Let's
I
moving
understand the
on.
male has to participate, but
Moving
come
on.
on.
Yeah.
All right. But my point is, okay, we just had a kid. Okay, great. Now we have a why they want to move. Or, I hate the school district that we're in because, they just put up metal detectors and I don't want my kid to, okay, there's some why. And yeah, you've got to do some more research, for lack of a better way to put it. And it's not bedrooms, bathrooms, square foot, price range. That is important, but not until you have some other reason why.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's one more thing about this call I want to point out. So let's hear it at the end here. Was there anything else you wanted to point out that you heard?
No, I'm just apparently going to faux pas it anyway, so keep playing.
I just thought it was funny. I'm like, oh shit, here comes the YouTube comment. I could hear it immediately.
Man, I'm getting slaughtered on YouTube.
That's like, no, that's like when I mess with my wife sometimes, and I'll say, yeah, somebody asks me if I want to do something, or I'm telling people what the plans are, and I'm like, oh yeah, I have to babysit my kids on Thursday. And
That's a
like,
bad one.
It's not babysitting if it's your kids. And I'm like, oh, really? I find it way easier to babysit somebody else's kids. It's a lot more work to watch mine. I'll tell you that much. Other people's kids are way, it's easier to watch somebody else's kids.
Fair enough. I'll agree with that assessment.
All right. So I want to take us down to the end of this.
So,
Okay. All right. Well,
All
maybe
right.
we'll just kind of send you over some listings and just kind of be in touch as things
All right.
move on.
Sure.
You know what I call that? I call that a threat. Hey, so yeah, I'm just gonna randomly call you for no good reason to see if you want to buy or sell something, right? Now, this agent, great guy, does a lot of business. I'm just pointing this out that there's no logical next step here. And again, what we teach, nobody's perfect here. Me and Brian, again, we get to Monday
Not
morning
screwed that up.
quarterback. Yeah, we've screwed up. We continue to screw things up, but we get to be here and get to pull this stuff apart so that we can teach. What we teach is logical next step is 3 parts. When are we going to talk? Why are we going to talk? And what's the lead going to get out of it? Right? So there's no clear when, why, or what the lead's going to get out of that next interaction. So let's just role play this, to help people understand. So let's say I executed this call in the same way, right? Tried to see if he was going to buy something. He said no, took a stab at it, got a little bit of info, never figured out his why. He pushed me off again, saying I'm not ready to buy something when I kept trying to do discovery with him. And so now it's time to end the call because the guy doesn't really want to talk to me about it. Just wrapping it up with a logical next step, maybe it would sound something like, okay, Brian, hey, I totally get it, man. Not in the market right now. So let me do this. No, you know what? I'm thinking about this. Here's what. I'm not going to end this conversation yet. You know why I'm not going to end the conversation? Because I don't know enough about what you're doing or not doing, or why you're doing it or not doing it, for me to set up another conversation with you. So if I get to this and I'm like, damn, the guy doesn't want to talk to me. He doesn't like my line of questioning because it's too sales oriented. I'm going to shift gears. That's what I'm going to do, because Dale said a logical next step has 3 parts: when, why, and what. When are we going to talk? Why are we going to talk? And what are you going to get out of it? I have no idea when we're going to talk next or what I can give you because I don't know enough. So I'm going to stop. Hey, Brian, listen, I totally get it, man. It sounds like you're not ready to do something. I didn't even ask you this, but why were you considering making a move in the first place? Right? That's a question I'm going to ask you. Let's rewind the tape. I clearly don't have enough info because I can't set a logical next step with you other than just randomly calling you out of the blue. What do you think, Brian?
I like that. Another place we could have gone with that same question is, hey, Dale, you mentioned interest rates before. Out of curiosity, do you have a number that you feel for interest rates you feel comfortable with? That, and then you might say, hey, once they get under 7, okay. And what just happened? Oh, I know what happened. You stopped sharing your screen.
I just stopped. Yeah.
I was like, you disappeared from. That's a good question too. Something to talk about.
Yeah, I think that's a good question too. And here's one more thing. Never be afraid to tell somebody you're not trying to sell them something. That's totally okay, right, Brian? I know you're reading that message.
It is. Yeah, it's absolutely okay.
So if I'm in this call and it goes that way, you've pushed me off twice. I can just do, I like to call it a get real. I can just say, hey, Brian, I get it, man. Listen, I'm not trying to sell you anything today. Don't worry about it. I've been in real estate for a long time. I'll be in real estate for a long time. If and when you ever decide that you want to buy or sell something, I'd be happy to help you. Now I'm going to roll into a question, right? I want to take your defenses down. I'm not doing anything today, not trying to push you any which way or whatever. It's just 2 people having a conversation. I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah. And to your point, I was reading the comment, and Connie pointed out that he said he was looking for investment property to not sound like he was making a move. I think that's possible.
I didn't hear, but Connie, I didn't hear investment property. Maybe it was when they talked over each other, but I didn't hear investment property. Otherwise, I definitely would have keyed in on that.
So here's where I think Connie got this, and you can correct me if you're wrong, Connie, but he asked the guy if he was looking for single family or multifamily, and the guy said basically he had some interest in multifamily. So which is an indication that's an investment, but also a multifamily can be a duplex and I'm going to live in one side of it. It can be a quadplex. I'm going to live in one of the units. So yes, but again, the problem is we didn't do enough discovery to find out if his primary objective is investment or to live in it or both. We don't know the answer to that question because there was some inference that it might have been, but it was only inferred. which is why you have to go deep.
Yeah. So Connie Martin also asked, would you ask him what interest rate he's waiting for? You could certainly. A way that I like to phrase it is, hey, Brian, so how are the interest rates impacting your ability to purchase now? Right? Some sort of form of question like that. I just want to know how the interest rates are impacting his decision making.
Yeah,
Good.
absolutely. And I like that question that you put there, that very direct question too. Is there an interest rate? And you're not going to ask that every time. But if someone's like, look, I'm not buying at these interest rates, I don't care if it's the best deal in the world. Perfect. So out of curiosity, what's the interest rate that makes you feel comfortable?
Right.
Oh, something under 7, something under 3. Great. Now I don't need to ever talk to you again because you're delusional. Not really. But yeah, all rents are 100% interest. Yes, they are. And by the way,
Gracie. Look at that. Listen to that close, baby. All rents are 100% interest. Jason Gracie just messaged. Brian, do we have time for your call today? Or are we going to continue pontificating while the clock runs down?
Well, we have 3 minutes. I'm happy to play my call, but that's not a lot of time.
Well, maybe if we don't play your call this week, people will come back next week.
So let's talk about next week. Next week is November 22nd, which is the day before Thanksgiving. And I don't see us doing cash call, not because we don't love our people and we're sure they're all there, but I'm going to guess a lot of them are going to be doing that family thing, getting ready for Thanksgiving, that kind of thing. I don't know if you guys want to comment in the chat or the thing about whether that makes sense. So I do it all day. First call, these you're helping my game. Okay, cool. Thank you, Adam.
Excellent. Yeah. So I don't know if you want to leave it open to a vote to the audience, but how about this?
I don't. We're just looking for input.
Yeah. Okay. How about we take the day before Thanksgiving off? I know that everyone here is going to be disappointed that they're not going to get a slice of cash call next week, but you could go to YouTube and watch some of the previous episodes of Cash Call, which are eternal. They're evergreen, right, Brian? Unlike
absolutely. So let's talk about Thanksgiving because it's fun. You know what's a great day to make phone calls? Not Thanksgiving. The Friday after Thanksgiving.
Black Friday?
Black Friday. Come up with a Black Friday special. Give people a reason to call and leave a message. The people don't answer. Hey, Dale, it's Brian Curtis Realty Group. I'm reaching out today, and you've made some inquiries in the past, and we're having a Black Friday special. I'd love to talk to you if you get a chance. I just made that up. I don't know if it would work or not, but a lot of people are going to be home on Black Friday. Now, don't start calling at 8 o'clock in the morning the day after a holiday. That's a bad idea, in my opinion. I'd wait until 9 o'clock, which generally I would never say, but some people like to indulge over the holidays, and more power to them. That's fine. But yeah, making calls on Friday, Black Friday, is a great day to make phone calls. So
agreed. I think you should come up with some kind of fancy offer, right? Like, we're offering 2 free home showings or something this weekend. Something ridiculous, which is not really an offer, but just funny.
Yeah, just but have fun. I mean, I used to teach agents to call on Thursday. Hey, Dallas, Brian Curtis Realty Group. I'm reaching out today because we're filling up our opportunities for this weekend. And just wanted to know if you were interested in taking a look at homes this weekend, because I want to make sure that I'm available if you need me. I used to make phone calls like that all the time. Leave a message. You can send a text message with that as well. Hey, we're putting together a weekend. Things are pretty busy. Are you guys interested in looking at anything this weekend? There's a FOMO in there, right? Oh, wait, there might be only this much space and it might get filled. Okay, great. People love to do shit for FOMO. They really do.
Yeah, I can tell you all about my cryptocurrency investments. But that's another episode.
I'm intrigued to hear that. That's very interesting.
It's not very exciting. Just
okay.
That's it. All right, everybody. Great the episode today. Thanks for joining us. Cash Call once again. Dale Archdekin, Brian Curtis. We will not be back next week. It will be the following week after Thanksgiving. So for all of our American listeners, please enjoy your Thanksgiving, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Cash Call today. If you like what you heard, come check us out at smartsalescoaching.com, and we'll be back again next week.